The Chernobyl disaster created a new mineral called Chernobylite. Some of our readers may recall what is still widely viewed as the worst nuclear disaster of all time, the explosive meltdown of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in 1986. However, out of that great tragedy emerged an entirely new and never seen before mineral. According to History.com, the Chernobyl nuclear plant was located near the settlement of Pripyat, not too far from North Kiev in Ukraine. It was still then a part of the Soviet Union. On April 25th, 26th of 1986, a group of inexperienced engineers and scientists who lacked a full understanding of the physics of a nuclear reactor decided to conduct an experiment on the number 4 reactor to see if the turbine's inertial spinning would be sufficient to power the emergency water pumps. The first disconnected the reactor from the emergency safety and power regulating systems, reduced the power level until it became unstable, then removed many of the reactor's control rods in an effort to raise the power marginally to a stable level. Despite that not working as they thought, they persisted with the experiment and shut down the turbine's engine, only to find that its inertial spinning was not nearly strong enough to power the water supply, which promptly caused the power in the reactor to surge as there was no flowing water to keep it cool. In what was likely a panicked bid to stop the surge and halt a potential meltdown, the engineers quickly reinserted all of the control rods at the same time. That ended up causing a massive chemical explosion that blew the steel door and concrete lid off of the reactor, scattering more than 50 tons of radioactive material into the air. Some 32 people died at the scene, and dozens of others suffered severe chemical and radiation burns. The Soviets rapidly evacuated roughly 30,000 residents from the nearby town the next day, but unsurprisingly attempted to keep word of the explosive meltdown covered up. Luckily, Swedish radiation monitoring stations, located about 800 miles to the north, picked up higher levels of radiation by April 28th, and the Soviets reluctantly admitted what had happened. In the end, it was revealed that more radiation had been released by that explosion than in the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined, and millions of acres of farmland and forests across Eastern and Northern Europe were contaminated for years. An estimated 5,000 Soviet citizens died from cancer and other radiation-related illnesses over the years. Incredibly, after an initial cleanup, the rest of the plant continued to operate until the last reactor was completely shut down in the year 2000. Interestingly, though, an incredible discovery was made while the meltdown was being cleaned up. A brand new and never seen before technogenic mineral called Chernobylite, a sort of crystalline-like zirconium silicate with radioactive uranium as its core. The mineral was contained within what was called the corium, in essence a black lava-like blob of radioactive material enriched with uranium and other elements, believed to have reached a temperature of 1,500 degrees Celsius, as discussed in a USSR scientific journal article released in 1991. Quote, crystal formations were found in these same samples that were identified as a silicate of zirconium and uranium. It is these that were named Chernobylite. Classical mineralogy had not known crystals of this kind, the article stated. To this day, it remains unclear if there is any sort of known use for the Chernobylite material other than being a byproduct and reminder of the terrible, tragic nuclear disaster.